Now, each user has their own notes, but if I could somehow mess with my state using DevTools, for example, and change my UID to something else, if I knew somebody else's UID, I could theoretically read their notes that way. That is because we have no actual permissions at the database level. But it does support such things. So let's see how we might do that. Since our security rules are defined as public, it's always griping at us. If we hit learn more, we could read some of the docs about that, and it could tell us how to fix it. Configuring rules in the Firebase console under database and rules. So database, here's data, here's rules. We have this very JSON-y looking thing. Some sample rules. So the default are just to require authentication. So if you put read auth equals null, write auth equals null. Those are strings. Auth not equal null. Was it two equal signs? No. Auth not equal null. Now you have to at least be signed in. Public, that's what we had before, where everyone can read and write. User, so these rules grant access to a node matching the authenticated user's ID from the Firebase auth token. So in this example, there's a user's endpoint, and inside there is a key with the UID. And in order to read or write that, you have to have that UID. So we want something very similar to this. Except in our database, it's not users, is it? It's notes. So we have an endpoint called notes, and underneath that, we have items marked with the UID. And in order to read the endpoint notes / some UID, you must have that UID. You must be authenticated as that user. So notice they're not published until you hit publish. So these are not the actual rules just yet. And there's this nice simulator feature. So you can simulate logging into someone and seeing if this works. So let's try reading, /note/dstruce when I am authenticated as dpalaz. I got a problem. I have it missing a curly brace. So if I fix that and try, simulated read denied. But if I were signed in as the UID dstruce, simulated read allowed. If I'm not authenticated at all, doesn't work either. So that's a pretty good set of rules. I will publish those. So then you can have other sections of the database that are maybe readable by more people. So we could go maybe legal notices. Privacy, read, true. Everyone can read the privacy policy, whether they want to or not. So then an unauthenticated user cannot get to notes dstruce, but can get to legal notices / privacy. Oops. If I don't screw things up. How about some quotes? There we go. Cool. Publish. And we didn't even change anything in our code. Questions?